Same CEO and defect CEO of the joint state, in their multiple ridiculous tweets, goaded Iranians to attract in destructive acts, the email shipped night reads. Country division, we promote protesters. The Iran by the government confined accessing to public print at the altitude of the protests above the weekend, but lot Iranians as well use VPNs so the by the government cannot path there on the internet operation. We wish to promote the protesters to go on to struggle for which slaw and to outdoor up Iran, Goldstein told. He told how public media apps were legal avenues of communicating, or human beings in Iran and through should be capable to accessing such sites. The against government protests, the largest strong problem to the mode in year, emerging to include fizzled Thursday. Next a complaint by Revolutionist Guard Captain Mohammad Ali Jafari how the strife was formally above. The protests began 1 week ago above Iran's congestive economics and the growing price of residing, and advanced in a more extensive shout versus the by the government. Now pro-government protests are take their location, and on Thursday, Mode supporters marched via components of the nation for a other day in a number. Iran and U.S. officials include sold barbs for the history 1 week, and Tehran maintains how the U.S. and its allies organized the strife. Down there is no testimony how Washington had any straight part in organizing the against government protests, for the promotion via public print and published speech. Present, the Iran human beings are one day once again growing up to consumer demand liberty and prospect, and by CEO Trump card, the joint state is permanent in them. He embattled Europe nations and the UN for lack to decisively say of on Iran. Same CEO and I urge on leaders of liberty-loving nations through the planet to denounce Iran's unelected dictators and protect the Iran human beings as inalienable law to diagram their own next and define their own fate. He told the protests went on for 6 days since of the courteous way of Iran's safety forces and officials. At low 21 human beings were annihilated and 450 were detained in the protests, lot in clashes in safety forces hard to suppress the election meetings. Iran telephone call on Telegram to unit channels. The Iran by the government had confined the use of public media apps Telegram and Instagram to suppress the strife. It has told such restrictions will be raised on Friday, and down there were signs Thursday how it had started weakening several of them. But at the identical period, Iran has named on Telegram to unit bomber channels, on to country TV IRIB, in else obvious force to hinder more than protests. A interim unit on Telegram was at first superimposed on Saturday following against government protests through the nation. Telegram remote at low 1 opposition canal, quoting telephone call for abuse, but Telegram CEO Pavel Durov has rejected to close downward some channels how he told War Peace. Country print is accountability a warmed marketplace for VPNs with the by the government began restrictive the apps.